We are live again with all my friends, and I already got a little bit of a crowd here. Already had some super chats come in before I even started. PJ CNET says super early getting you started. Hey, I appreciate it whether you get it in before we start or whether you get it in after we've started. I appreciate it either way. So that's why I'm going back and showing that before we started. That's some super chat love. Appreciate that, PJ CNET. And before we started, we also had a fella named OJ and Toothpaste 2. He sends a donation and says, Pat Truther is a clown joke. Go, Jake. Not only do I appreciate the donation, but I absolutely agree. And tonight, he's going to look really stupid because I actually have some comedy bits tonight that I was going to show. And I actually have some information about raw meat that maybe some of you aren't aware of. So it's going to be a fun night. I'm going to make some people look really stupid. My haters out there, I'm going to make them look stupid tonight without actually having to address them personally. I'm just going to mix it into my show. It's going to be good. All right, who else is here? We have Rose Bellman in the house, one of my beautiful mods, and she says, hello, everyone. Hi, Rose. How's it going? And Misanthropics here, and she also says hi to Rose. Jonna X here, another one of my lovely mods, says, hello, everyone. All right, who else we got? We have Quest for Greatness says, yo. Jay Rose says, hey. Vier Pietiert, and I'm probably saying that wrong, says, hello from the Netherlands. Well, hello. It's really late out there, I would reckon, right? Aren't you guys like 9 hours ahead of my time? Here at my Pacific time, we're at 6 o'clock, or excuse me, 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock Pacific time. So for you guys over there, isn't it like 9 hours ahead? So it's got to be really late for you, really early in the morning, right? All right. Who else? Kenny Homer says, yo, bro. Mad Dog says, sup, dude. All right. Fusion Density also here. He says it's 7 here. Yes, we live in different time zones. We have a worldwide audience that joins us here. Jake the A-hole is a worldwide product, right? Okay, so who's ready to get started? I got a fun one today. I thought we'd do like some general chit chat because last time I did that, it actually was kind of fun and it was a pretty good experience. In the stream actually performed well. So we'll do some general chit chat today, and I also thought we would go back in time and watch some of my classic comedy bits. I did a comedy routine back during the lockdown when basically there were no places to perform anything. If you guys remember, they shut every damn thing down for a while. And so I performed a comedy routine basically like in my room and in my car and stuff like that. So thought I'd go back and maybe rehash a little bit of that. And I had some stuff I wanted to talk about as far as nutrition and consuming raw meat is concerned. So we'll get into all that stuff. But basically, there hasn't been any major thing go down recently since like the last Bang Bang Pow Pow that I know of. So figured we would just shoot the breeze a bit, maybe watch some classic clips, and let the stream develop as it may. No script, off the cuff, off the cuff. Yeah. All right, so we'll start here since we have somebody saying something stupid. It says raw meat is death. Yeah, that right there is going to get you. It's going to get you in trouble with me. In fact, you're going to go in a timeout for saying that. Okay, so here's the thing: is I am not a crazy person who ate raw meat because I want you to be unhealthy or something. Let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. I am not the first person to eat raw meat on camera. And outside of America, over in Europe, it's a lot more popular, and fancy restaurants have something called steak tartare. How many people in the chat know what steak tartare is? Somebody who's smart in the chat, tell us all what steak tartare is. And then I'll go ahead and show you. Because there's some people out there who don't know what a raw meat dish looks like, and that fancy restaurants charge top dollar for this dish called steak tartare. There's some people who are going to look really stupid because they've tried to paint me out as Mr. Crazy Man who eats raw meat. And I'm about to absolutely make that person and anyone else who's ever said that look really foolish. Okay, here we go. It says it's French raw grind beef. Filet American on your toast. Birdie says raw mince with raw egg. Yes, basically, yes. Raw beef and raw egg. And in the fancier restaurants, they'll even add capers and little fancy little dill pickles and shallots. Would you guys like me to show you how popular it is? Haters, pay attention. Pay attention. I'm going to make you look real stupid, haters. Make sure to include this in your next video about me. Okay, haters? What is that? What is that? Oh, that's steak tartare. Let's see. World famous steak tartare recipe, 153,000 views. Here's one where you can literally see it's raw meat and raw egg, right? You guys can see what's on the screen, right? You can see that that's a raw egg yolk sitting on top of raw meat. How many views do these have? Let's just go down the list. 153,000, 502,000 views. So, how crazy am I, even though they're steak tartare recipes, that we're just going to scroll through. Look at this. 98,000 views, 2.9 million views. Holy cow. Is steak tartare safe to eat? Yes, of course. That's why people eat it and pay top dollar for it in fancy restaurants. That's why every single top chef has a steak tartare video, basically. Right here. Oh, so now Jake's not crazy for eating raw meat? Ooh, shoot. Thought you had me, huh, haters? You thought you had me because I ate some raw meat and you were going to show a clip of me eating raw meat. I think you forgot to do just this much research, because if you did this much research, you haters, then you could see all these raw meat dishes. Look at this. Do you see? Do you see? Oh, Gordon Ramsay. Even he makes this shit. Wild venison tartare. See? Yes. All right. I'm going to make you guys watch a YouTube commercial because I love you so much. And then we're going to get to this recipe. Woo.
Fresh beef that you will hand chop or ground at the last minute before serving. The proper way to serve it is to bring the meat and the seasoning on the top to the table. The guests will then mix everything together. Nowadays, most restaurants serve it already mixed. If you don't have a meat grinder, which is always nice to have, you can use a very sharp knife and simply chop, chop, and chop until very fine. The texture will be superior, but please do not dare to use a food processor on this dish. You will completely destroy it. To make a steak tartare, you will need raw beef, chopped parsley, eggs, chopped onions, chopped gherkins, chopped capers, sandwich bread, seasoning, pepper, salt, olive oil, Dijon mustard, Tabasco, Worcestershire sauce, also known as Lee Perrins sauce, and ketchup. First of all, grind the meat or chop it with a sharp blade. I have a grinder, so I'm going to use it. Today I'm using the tail of a beef tenderloin, but you may use stop sirloin or ram steak. What you want is to have a very lean meat. So grind the meat. There are two ways to serve steak tartare. The first one is to present the meat with the ingredients around, and each guest will season his own steak tartare. Or the other way is to season in advance. A good tablespoon. Add the capers. So same amount, about a tablespoon. There you go. Then prepare the egg. So break the egg and pass the yolk from one shell to the other. Then place the yolk in the hollow of the meat.
Okay, so there's people out there who will be like, did you see that one time when Jake ate some raw meat? He had blood dripping down his face. He's crazy. He's gonna get worms and die. No, I've eaten raw meat many times, and they serve it in fancy restaurants where you have to pay top dollar with little shallots and little like fancy dill pickles all chopped up, and then you mix it all in. That's a raw egg yolk on top of the raw meat, and then you mix in all those ingredients to your own liking. Some people like Worcestershire sauce and Dijon. All right, are we back? Sorry, guys. We're working on the internet here, and I think the internet went out. Hopefully, we're back. Are we back? Sorry, guys. We're working on the internet here, and boom. All right, looks like we're back. Okay, sorry about that. Probably lost a chunk of people, but shit happens. Hopefully, they'll fix the internet here, and it'll be stronger. All right, moving on. And I missed the super chat, it looks like, from Florida Todd. It says, please share a portion of fun for Rusty. Thanks for being real. Hey, Rusty eats zero store-bought dog food. I cut off the store-bought dog food. He only eats chicken and beef. And so I make food for him personally so that I know what he's eating. And I stopped giving him store-bought food like like over a year, 2 years ago now. So I've just been feeding him like meat basically. Every once in a while, I'll add maybe a little potato or a little bit of rice in with some meat to make it go a little farther. But for the most part, it's just a meat only diet mostly. But thank you, I appreciate that. So anyway, what I was showing you guys, and I'll go ahead and just bring it back up again. See, so let me go ahead and reload here. There's people out there that will take clips of me eating raw meat and will try and make me out like I'm some sort of psycho, crazy guy trying to like influence you to do something unhealthy. No, there's a reason why you have to pay top dollar for this dish, which looks so simple. If you sit there and hand prepare it, you take a good cut of meat and you hand prepare it and you make it and then you eat it, you will see it is absolutely delightful. And to do it by hand and do it properly isn't something that just some low-level employee at a restaurant can do. So at a fancy restaurant, they'll actually have somebody come to your table and prepare it all in front of you and stuff. But you got to pay top dollar. This is at like the fanciest restaurant in France. If you go to a fancy restaurant in like Paris or something, you'll find something like that on the menu, and it's not going to be cheap. So I just wanted to show you guys that the popularity of this dish, which is a raw beef dish with a raw egg, is extremely popular. And so hopefully that takes away any of this stigma. If you see any videos of me eating raw meat, or if I was to pull out some raw meat, start eating it now, it would take away the stigma. I would hope that you see that people are eating this stuff around the world. It's not like I do this for some shock value or whatever. Like, in fact, these people get way more views than me. Look, is steak tartare safe to eat? I wish I would have made that video. I got 2.9 million views. What do you think the answer is going to be? Yes or no? It's going to be yes. They're just going to tell you make sure it's fresh. That's it. Just make sure it's fresh. I've eaten store-bought ground beef, and that was fine too. Best steak tartare in Toronto. Let me mute up real quick.
I'm not planning to shoot, and then I see this amazing place. Like, it's just so beautiful. Old school, worldy, but like, it's got the charm. But the food that it's doing there is amazing. So I go in, it's a dream. It's the perfect place for me. And I couldn't not make a film about it. So I'm coming here for lunch, and I'm going to tell
Piece of inside round, which we use for tartare. It's not as fatty inside as you can see. Perfect for your tartare meat because people don't like to have too much fat. Gristle inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it into portions, something big enough for 2 people to eat. The fatty part of the inside round. We don't throw away our proteins. We actually use every part of the cow. What I'm going to do with this piece of meat is I'm going to throw it in our stock pot to add some more flavor. And then I will cut the protein down into almost like flaky texture. So at this point, I'm going to look through the meat and see if there's any unwanted pieces of fat or gristle. And then mix that up with shallots, parsnip, cornichons, truffle paste. Truffle paste consists of 3 different types of mushrooms, fungi, and truffle as well. Dijon mustard, soy sauce, a little bit of salt and pepper, and green peppercorns. I'll top it off with an egg yolk and some frites.
Right, let's get tartare as it should be. Thanks very much. Nice one. Thank you. It's such a little gem, this place. And like all those ingredients work together. With the egg yolk broke over it. There's anything I don't love about this place. It's just so perfectly formed.
Oh my god! That guy ate raw meat! Oh my god, he's gonna die! He's so crazy! Oh, I'm gonna tell everybody that that guy ate raw meat! I'm gonna try to ruin that guy! Hey everybody, that guy just ate raw meat! See? See? How nothing happens, nobody cares. So what? That's what people are trying to do to me. He eats raw meat! Like that guy that we just watched on YouTube, who gets more views than me. Go to any of these chef videos that have a professionally made steak tartare video and look at how many views they get, and then look at all the comments. Jeez. And one of my wonderful mods says, "We love you, Jake. Thank you for being you." Oh, that's so sweet. That's why I made you a mod, and I love you guys so much. You guys are the awesomest audience because you get me. I'm only explaining this to the haters who like to take little snippets of me and try to make me look like I'm a bad guy or I'm stupid or crazy, when really I have a very unique way to be able to explain myself and make them look like fools at the same time. Like, I think they forget that I have the ability to explain myself. So when these people you see out there make a video of me and they take little snippets, just remember there's a such thing called context. And then you can come ask me anything you want about what anyone said, and I can give you the lowdown. So anyone out there trying to say I'm crazy because I ate some raw meat, why don't you go to all those steak tartare recipe channels and go troll them? They're more popular than I am telling people to eat raw meat. Get it? And I can show you some women who do it. There's women who have YouTube channels that are only about them eating raw meat. In fact, I guess I'm going to have to show it. Thank you again, John. I appreciate that. You're super duper sweet for sending that. All right. Lee's here over in the UK. What's up, Lee? Glad you're here, man. He says, "You the man, Jake." Nah, you the man, bruh. Rose Bellman says, "Yes, Jake eats raw eggs as well. He's still alive." Yeah, I have drinking so many raw eggs in my life. Never had a problem. One time on a stream, I drank like 20 of them. Got a little dizzy, but that's because I overwhelmed my body with too much liquid substance. So basically, if you drink too much water, you can get dizzy and even throw up. And so one time on a live stream, I drank 20 eggs. I was trying to show off and felt a little woozy. But then I regained myself, and then by the end of the stream, I was cool again. So I didn't die. I don't recommend that you eat 20 in one sitting, but I proved that you won't die. Rose says, "I used to be afraid of egg on my hand until I watched Jake." Thank you. And just so you know, that's why I want you to know I'm not the only one who like feels this way or doesn't take like E. coli seriously or stuff like that. Like, I saw men and women on YouTube consuming raw meat and raw eggs and looking healthy and fine. And so I just thought I'd just give it a little try. And then once I saw the recipes, like once you see the recipes, like where people are putting the raw egg on the raw meat traditionally over and over and over again, you can't just be like, "Ah!" every single time, like without realizing like, oh shit, they're in a restaurant and like people are paying money and ordering it. They're not like going home and dying. They're not like, "Yes, I want to order steak tartare in the finest restaurant in France, and then I'm going to go home and die." Ta-ta! No, it's not how it works. So, This is like minor leagues compared to what some people are eating out there, right? So if you like type in primal diet, right? That's probably going to be a bunch of crap right here. Here we go. This is Svetia's girlfriend. I like to troll Svetia, but this is his girlfriend, and she eats raw meat.
Good morning. Welcome to my Boogeyman.
This will be probably the biggest meal today, and I will eat it along with lamb brain. So this is ground beef with 20% fat, and I'm adding egg yolk to it, and as something extra, a little bit parmesan, which is of course made of raw milk. And here we have some butter for some extra fat.
Shit, I forgot to unmute myself. Okay, at least I caught it quick this time. I caught it fairly fast this time. So what I was saying is she's eating raw beef with chunks of raw butter on top. So it really comes down to like once you get over the mental barrier of raw meat being gross or like eating chunks of butter on beef that's raw, ew, gross. Once you get over the mental barrier, you'll see there's other people in the world who are choosing to eat that specifically because it's healthy. So you have to realize you've been lied to about nutrition. You've been lied to about health. The people who run this place want you to be unhealthy, and the big pharma, they want you to be unhealthy so that you come get their products, right? In the health industry, they want you to be unhealthy so that you show up and you need them to write you prescriptions for the big pharma. See how that cycle works? It all steers back to you being unhealthy, and so we're told like you should eat vegetables. When you find out the opposite's true, vegetables are crap and you don't need to eat vegetables. And so they'll say, don't eat raw meat, cook your meat, cook the shit out of your meat. Well, the more you cook it, the more you destroy the nutrient content. All right. So basically, like, there's a conspiracy out there that's very real, that's against you and your health. And guys like me will tell you some helpful information on how to beat them trying to make you an unhealthy piece of shit. And so basically, that's a girl right there eating raw meat with raw butter chunks on top. And I don't see my haters going over there and trolling her. So, haters, go to all the women who are eating raw meat and go troll them. Do it. Why are you picking me as the only guy on the net who eats meat? That girl eats meat. Her boyfriend, who's an e-beggar, eats meat. That's where I learned it from, is her boyfriend, who's an e-begging piece of shit scammer and a liar. And so I made a channel where I troll him specifically. He goes around scamming people, begging for money, traveling the world, and lying. And so I made a channel where I exposed that guy. But I did learn something useful about raw meat, is that you can eat it and be absolutely healthy. And if turns out that guy stole the idea from plenty of other people who've been doing it long before he did. So I learned the idea from a guy who I now troll. It's kind of funny. True story. All right. So, hey, haters, if you're going to talk about how Jake's crazy and eats raw meat, go to all the channels that eat raw meat, like all the thousands and thousands of them, and get in the comments and tell them how crazy they are. See how that works out for you. All right. So I think I just checked that one off the list, right? Andy says bison is good. Yeah, see, they don't have like the same industry with bison. So if you get bison, it's a lot more pure because they don't have like a shitload of bison farms like they do with cows or chickens. So you see like the worst care for chickens and cows at some of these like mass produce uh, farms that produce the meat mass for supermarkets and stuff like that. That's where you're going to see the worst conditions. So I'm not saying that the conditions that animals are kept are the best, but the better conditions the animals are kept, the higher quality of meat you're going to get. So bison, for instance, like I said, they don't have a bunch of bison farms like they do with cows and chickens. So generally, the meat, from what I hear, is always pretty damn good, higher quality for sure. Oh, I forgot that the game was on right now. Somebody said Return of the Doink just now, but Doink knocked it into the uprights. See what I've done? I've started this new thing with my football content where I sing these little parts of Muff, Punt City and Return of the Doink. So apparently during the Thursday football, which I'm not watching, there's a doink that just happened. Well, I tried to tell you so. Yes, I did, but I guess you didn't know. They be messing with field goals, and there's magnets in the poles. Return of the doink, it is. Return of the doink, come on. Return of the doink, oh my God, that ball just freaking doink. Don't you know? All right, there you go. See, I was actually a little upset because last week I didn't find one single muffed punt, and so I didn't get to sing Muff Punt City for week 9. So I'm hoping in week 10 somebody muffs a punt. Please, Lord of Fake Sports Ball, make somebody muff a punt this week in week 10 so I can sing Muff Punt City for all my friends. Probably not a good idea to pray for a muffed punt. Just kidding, it's a comedy routine. I was thinking what would be fun is next time somebody asks me where I'm from, I'm going to tell them I'm from Muff Punt City. All right. Fred Carr says, wasn't Doink a WWF wrestler? Yes, he was a clown. Jake says, where are you from? Well, Jake, I'm from Modesto, California. Paul De Los Santos says, yeah, dude, that was your favorite team before you ruined it for everybody. Be a diehard football fan. Making this content because like I'm a grifter or whatever that their stupid reason is, but I'm a former Dolphin fan, diehard, and I used to watch like every single week, like even when the team would suck. I'd still be there watching and supporting. Oh man, my signal sucks today. I'm all glitchy looking. No bueno. Eric William Mace says, make more rigged NFL vids, please. I could. I also got to make some other content too, because I start to get bored if I just talk about one thing. I'm not a one-trick pony. So even though that is really popular on my channel, like I like to talk about other stuff. And I know there's people who've been subbed here a long time, a lot longer, who've like to hear me talk about other things besides just football. But we're not even like halfway through the season, so you guys still got plenty more weeks of rigged plays coming up. So, oh, Faith just showed up. She says, sorry I'm late. It's been a hectic day. Oh, that's okay. You haven't missed that much, really. It's been basically a chit chat stream so far. I talked about how raw meat isn't like bad for you. It's healthy. That's what I talked about. So you missed me defending some raw meat against some haters, which you've already seen me eat raw meat a dozen times or more. So you didn't miss much. Eric William May says, love him, bro. You make other great stuff too. Well, the channel started as a flat earth channel, actually. And then I went into just all sorts of different conspiracies. And then I just basically talked about any sort of conspiracy or any sort of thing that I thought needed to be exposed, breaking down fake news, bang, bang, pow, pows. And then I started getting a lot of singing gigs, and I kind of walked away from YouTube for a while. And I was singing professionally, like in about 30 shows, like a month in some cases, to where YouTube I just wasn't feeling it anymore and was tired of just talking about the same old things. And then the C word happened, right? And that changed everything, destroyed my business. It's still to this day not the same. I can't go sing at those old folks' homes without them asking about VAXX and whatnot. So it destroyed that business, changed everything. And of course, I had to start talking about it. And been back here on YouTube ever since. And so I talk about anything that I think needs exposing. And so you'll see a plethora of different content on my page. I'm not a one-trick pony that just makes the same type of video every single day, day in and day out. Rose, Faith, everyone's talking to each other, it looks like. Okay, what else did I want to talk about tonight? Oh yeah, I have some comedy bits that I thought I'd show. People out there, they love my comedy so much, and the haters, they hate it so much that they watch it, and then they try and take little snippets and tell people that I'm not funny. You guys know there's people out there trying to say that I'm not funny. People out there who aren't funny, who can only get like 20 dudes to watch, like to say that I'm not funny. It's hilarious. You know what's funny is that these guys who like to say I'm not funny will do a live stream where only 20 dudes watch and there's not one single woman in the chat. And then they'll sit there and talk about me for most of their stream. Meanwhile, I get like 10 times more views than them when I do one of my streams, being myself. And there's always moments where people will say LOL and send me laughing emojis, which lets me know I'm probably sometimes maybe funny. So like right now, Jonna already thinks this is funny. Victor thinks it's funny. And Green Street thinks it's funny. All right, you guys are ready to laugh. I got you guys primed and ready. All right, let's go back and watch my comedy routine from when the world got locked down. So that's the reason why I did a comedy routine from my room and added a laugh track, is because I wanted to do a big bunch of stretched out bits that you can't just go perform at an open mic. It doesn't work. And at the time, the world was shut down. You couldn't even go perform comedy. So some of you guys have seen these before, but I bet a lot of you guys haven't. All right, so we're gonna go back and watch some of my comedy bits. We'll start slow and we'll work our way up. All right, this one right here is called the Middle Eastern American Dream. The Middle Eastern American Dream. All right.
A lot of folks want to come to America so that they can achieve their dream. A lot of folks live in a place where they can't achieve their dream. They can't do what they were meant to do. You see, I live in America, so I can do what I was meant to do. Some people aren't as fortunate. Some people are born in the Middle East, and so they don't get to do what they were meant to do. Like, they have to be here in America in order to achieve their life's dream and complete their journey. Like the place they were born, any Middle Eastern country, wherever it is, they can't complete their goal as being a general store owner. You see, there are people in the Middle East, scattered all over, whose ultimate goal in life is to be surrounded by food and drinks and be a store owner. And that is what they were meant to do. They're literally meant to be surrounded by food and drinks. It's because they grow up in poverty. They grow up in shit. They're starving. They're starving. And there's somebody over there in the Middle East. Somebody over there is telling them, if you go to America, you can be surrounded by food and drinks, more food and drinks than you could ever imagine. And people are going to want your food and drinks because you have so much food and drinks. They're going to want your food and drinks, and they're going to hand you money in exchange for your food and drinks. And you're going to sell them your food and drinks in exchange for their money. And then when your food and drink supply starts to wear down, you're going to call a magic food and drink delivery man who's going to show up and replenish your entire food and drink supply. And here is the most amazing part. You're going to give the man who replenishes your food and drink supply some of the money that you earned from the people who bought your food and drinks. But you're going to be left over with a profit of money because you sold the food and drinks at a higher price and then rebought them at a lower price. So now you have a restocked food and drink storage supply, and you get to turn around and do this every single day, make money and have all the food you could ever want, all the drinks you could ever want to drink, and you get to make money. And you get to do this every day until you die. You get to show up to this building and sit with the food and the drinks and collect money. And you get to do this until you die. And guess what? People over there in the Middle East are like, holy fucking shit. Where do I sign up for that? I'm going right now. I gotta go to America and become a store owner. I have to. It's my destiny. I'm meant to sit in a building with food and drinks and make money until I die. Thank you for telling me what I was meant to do with my life. I got to get the fuck out of this crappy Middle Eastern country right now and get the fuck over there to America so I can complete my life's goal. See ya.
So that was a segment of one of my comedy bits, right? Come on, that's original. Where have you heard that one before, right? So it was my own original comedy bit. And see, the thing is, like, you can't perform a bit like that at your local open mic, because at a local open mic, people like chit chat with each other, and it's nothing but comics there anyway who don't care about your set. So it's like local open mics are crap as far as comedy is concerned. And so in order to do an actual full bit, you actually have to have an audience who's able to pay attention to you and make it through to the end to get it. And so that's why I actually preferred doing it this way, was I could release these comedy bits and just have them be standalone comedy bits, and then you guys are my audience, you like my comedy already, so it was like a perfect fit. Whereas if I was to try and perform that same bit like at a like live for like randos who don't know me, they generally just won't stay quiet long enough. All right. You guys like that one? Did y'all enjoy that one? I think I got a little more where that came from. We're gonna step it up a notch though. You guys know about women? You know how many women are on the top 10 best comedians list? 0. And that's not because I'm sexist. It's because it's true. All right. So let's listen to me talk about how women aren't funny. Away we go.
I love hearing people laugh. I fucking love to laugh. I don't know about you guys, but I think laughing is fucking awesome. Having a good belly laugh, it's great. A lot of people can't do it anymore. They've taken life too seriously, or they've gotten to a point where they think they're too old to be able to fucking belly laugh. Speaking of laughing and speaking of being funny, do you know who's really not funny? Women! Yeah! None of you guys are actually fucking funny. None of them. If I make a list of the top 10 funniest human beings who ever lived, there's not one single fucking woman even near that list. That's 10 men, absolutely 100% sure. And women are going to be like, "Nuh-uh, we're just as funny as you." No, you're fucking not. Name one female comedian who's even in the same fucking dimension as George Carlin. Go ahead, ladies. Try and name a fucking comedian who's even in the same dimension as George Carlin. Now, some fucking stupid lady is going to be like, "Well, there's Rebecca Rottencrotch is funny." Yes, some fucking whore who you think is funny, who goes up on stage and talks about sucking a dick. Oh, isn't it so funny to go up on stage as a woman and talk about sucking some dick, and then they'll go up on stage and be like, "I've got a vagina. Do you guys want to hear what it's like to have a vagina? Let me tell you all about having a vagina." And after a while, you're like, "Fuck, man, I can smell your stinky, rotting vagina from here in the comedy crowd. I'm gonna have to get up and fucking leave. I can't stand smelling this lady's fucking rotting, wet vagina." It's like every single female comedian, the only joke they know how to tell is, "Blah, blah, blah. I have a wet, stinky, rotting vagina. Can you smell it?" Like, yes, we can all fucking smell it. That's why no man wants to sit here and fucking listen to you, because your fucking vagina is rotten, and we all know it, and that's the only thing you know what to fucking talk about. We can't relate to you. Please, God, take the microphone out of that fucking bitch's hand. Somebody, please take the microphone out of that fucking terrible cunt's hand. And then finally, some man will usually walk up on stage and say, "Give it up for Maggie fucking Cuntface, everybody." And we'll all be like, "Whew, thank God it's over." And then the next male comedian he can get up on stage and be like, woo, aren't you guys glad that fucking wretched cunt is no longer up on stage? Man, it's starting to smell better already. And I'll be like, ah! This guy's funny. This guy gets it. He knows what comedy really is.
So yeah, there you go. Another little bit. That one's called Women Are Not Funny. Something like that. And what's funny is women will often agree with me, right? Now, it's women who like my channel who agree with me. Like, what's hilarious is when like some liberal woman who's like all about women's rights and equality, they'll be like, "You're wrong. What about I Love Lucy?" It's like, you're gonna talk about some black and white bitch from like 100 years ago. Like, there's no comparison. It's like you can't even. You don't even know if that was even actually a chick. That might have even been a dude. Who knows? Anyway, so it's funny when you hear like a woman be like, "That's not true." There's this one girl who's kind of funny from that one show. Even they have like a hard time coming up with like several examples. They can maybe come up with a one, and then their one that they maybe come up with doesn't compare to like the 50 comics who are awesome, who are men that you could easily name in front. All right. So that's what's funny is like women will actually agree with me. They'll be like, it's true. I don't ever want to go watch a woman comedian. Internet issues. Sorry, guys. I'll try not to make it too long tonight. We'll wrap it up soon. But we'll hang out for a while. Hopefully it'll improve. All right. We're back. There's internet issues here at my office. Supposedly they're updating the internet and it's going to get better, but that means in the meantime, while they're working on it, it might go in and out. Sorry, maybe I should have thought about that before I started streaming, but oh well, too late now. There's still 155 people here, so that's still a decent enough crowd. We'll keep it going. I'm having fun. Are you guys still having fun? Who's having fun out there? I think I got you guys laughing because I saw a bunch of people saying ha ha ha, LMAO, laughing emoji here, a laughing emoji there. Victor says, hell yeah, I am. Mad Dog says, I'm having fun. Old School Steve says, you need 6G. I guess so, man. I think that frequency just automatically just liquefies your testicles, but your computer should be much faster. So, you know, give and take, man. All right. So anybody stealing my comedy clips and trying to act like I'm not funny, just put your comedy stuff up there and let's see how good you are and how many people watch it and how many people like it. I dare you. All right, here's a good one. This one's a hidden gem that not that many people saw. This one's called Pre-Diabetes. All right. We're going to watch this one here. It's called Pre-Diabetes.
So the other day I heard this announcement on the radio, and it was all about that you need to go get yourself tested for diabetes, and that one in however many fucking Americans already has pre-diabetes and they don't even know it yet. So you should definitely go in and get checked and see if you have diabetes or if you have pre-diabetes.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your dog walker,
On your left.
your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
That's like pre-diabetes? Fuck! You telling me I can get diabetes before I get diabetes now? That's something I gotta be worried about now, is that I'm gonna get a fucking pre-version of the fucking thing I'm supposed to be scared of? Does that work with any other disease, or is it only diabetes? Can I get like pre-fucking AIDS? Yeah, I got pre-AIDS. It's like almost kind of maybe AIDS. Then I'm gonna go get checked for almost kind of maybe sort of cancer. It's like they found cells and it maybe almost sort of might be cancer. So if I don't fucking stop the bad shit that I'm doing, the maybe almost kind of sort of maybe cancer is going to turn into maybe actual sometimes could be cancer. Fuck, I hope I don't have pre-diabetes. Holy shit, if I have diabetes before I have diabetes, I might die before I get the actual real thing. They'll be like, what did he die of? Oh, he died of pre-diabetes. Oh, fuck, he didn't even get to have the real thing? That's sad. How fucking tragic. I got raped in my asshole and I got fucking pre-HIV and I died before I got fucking full-blown AIDS. And you know why? Because it mixed with the pre-diabetes. It was fucking pre-full-blown AIDS, pre-diabetes, mixed with some kind of maybe almost might be cancer, and it was too much for my body to take. I fucking keeled over and died.
And we're back. Jane liked that one. Victor's digging it. Rose Bellman says, show this to doctors. You know, I would, but I don't ever go to any. I don't know any personally. I don't hang out with any doctors. I don't have one doctor friend. Can you believe that Jake the asshole doesn't have one doctor friend? You would figure I would just hang out with a bunch of them. But no, I don't ever go to the hospital or to doctors or get checkups or none of that. I don't ever talk to any doctors. It's kind of the way I like it. Steve. That's a good one, Steve. So that means you almost had some of the symptoms? You had some C-word symptoms? I think I kind of maybe sneezed once, so I had pre-Boogeyman disease. I had the early stages because like I walked past a guy who wasn't wearing a muzzle. That's how you know you had pre-Boogeyman disease, is if you walked by someone who wasn't wearing a diaper on their face. Then of course you might have pre-Boogeyman disease. Rose says, Jake, do you think the Boogeyman disease is going away or is it here to stay? I feel like they're going to do another round. I feel like it's coming back again, like through the media, you know, not for real. But I feel like Boogeyman disease is going to get pushed to like maybe one more time on us, right? I feel like they prepped us real good and hard. And it seems like in the dead of winter, when everyone's in the northern hemisphere, flat, I should say, is in winter, the majority of the populations, that's usually when they like to do that sort of shit. Because that's when they have us all locked down. like watching TV because the weather's crappy. So thank you for the donation. Yeah, I wish I could say they're totally done with it and they're going to move on, but I still see people wearing muzzles on their face. I still see people like just doing stupid shit, you know, like putting the hand sanitizer on, you know, like everywhere they go and stuff. So they've already got into the minds of people forever, and they did that for a reason. So I hope that I'm wrong, but I would guess that they're probably going to roll it back out with some sort of new variant, if you will. All right. Since we're all in such a funny mood, let's continue with the comedy. It's really long. It's a long, drawn out one, but it is funny. I haven't watched it in a long time. We'll go ahead and dust this one off.
The real, authentic.
Let me go ahead and mute up.
Luxury resale. Thousands of rare, totally unique finds for everyone you love, including yourself.
To maintain this physique so that I can continue doing my job as a male model. That's right. I am a model. I see some of you guys giggling like, Jake, you're not that good looking. You're not a model. Look at you. And I'm like, yeah, look at me. I'm old. I'm young. I'm skinny and I'm fat. I'm out of shape and I'm in shape. I'm good looking and I'm ugly. I'm everything you could ever want to be the best male model who ever lived. And guess what? I am. I am the most talented model who ever lived. I am a before and after model. I'm not one of these talentless fucking long-legged whores who walks down the runway at 80 pounds and then barfs up everything I ate all day. No, I'm a real model. I am the world's most famous before and after model. I can transform my body in a few minutes into a different person and convince people that I've done some sort of hard work to get there. For instance, I can take my stomach and shove it out as far as it'll go. Have you ever done that? Take your stomach, shove it as far as it goes. Just stick it out there, right? Okay, now put the most pitiful look on your face that you could possibly ever put on your face. Like a nice big frown, all right? Something like this. Right? So what you should have is a nice, pitiful before. Okay, this is your before picture. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is change angles and do it again. Okay, so then you're going to want to change angles and have another picture so that you have two before pictures of you looking fat and fucking pitiful. And then you're going to want to make sure your hair's all messed up when you take the picture. Make sure your hair's all messed up and going every which way to show that you just don't give a fuck. I like to let my facial hair grow just like I don't give a shit. Let my hair be all messed up. Now I bulge my stomach out. All right. And I like to make it look like I'm one of the most pitiful sons of bitches you ever saw. Like my uncle just butt fucked me in my sleep. Yeah. So the next thing you want to do is then style your hair, and then in my case, trim the facial hair. In fact, I'm going to get rid of it. So we're going to go clean shaven, then we're going to fix the hair, and then the next thing we're going to do, I don't want to spoil it, but I have a feeling you guys are going to get where I'm going. So the next thing we need to do is get rid of this hairdo and get rid of this facial hair. So give me one quick second, and now, as you can see, I'm freshly shaven and I've combed my hair over to the side. It looks like I've got my shit together, right? Because my face is nice and smooth now, and now my hair combed, right? It makes it look like time has passed, like I've been doing other things, getting my life turned around, getting back on the right track. So now all we have to do is make our body look as if we've been working really hard and getting in shape. So what I like to do is make it look like I've been going to the gym and pumping iron and doing sit-ups and running, so that when people see my after picture, they're going to think I actually used hard work and dedication in order to achieve the results that they see in the picture. So all you have to do is, in your before picture, remember I told you bulge out the stomach? This time you're sucking it in as far as you can suck it in. Ladies, you're going to want to shove those tits out. Same with you guys. Shove those tits out. We're shoving our tits out to the world. All right? You're going to want to stand nice and straight. All right? And then you're going to want to flex like you're some sort of a bodybuilder, and then you're going to want to hold the pose and keep all the breath inside you tucked in here in your lungs. All right? And it goes something like this. It goes something like this. So you go from the before picture where you're bulging out the stomach, it goes like this. See my ribs? Yeah. And then you can even scrunch your fucking stomach together. And even if you don't have a six-pack, you can make it look like you have a fucking six-pack. I don't really have a six-pack, but if I scrunch my fucking stomach together and I go as hard as I can, I can kind of make it look like I have a six-pack for like 3 seconds. And so if I take a photo of when it kind of looks like I have a six-pack for 3 seconds, I can trick people into thinking that I've done all this hard work in order to achieve a fucking six-pack. I shit you not. Now at this point, what you should have is your before picture and your after picture. And so at this point, you get to walk around with your before and after, and you get to tell any story you want, such as, I used to be homeless out on the streets. I was smoking dildos every day for breakfast. And then one day I discovered peanut butter Captain Crunch, and it changed everything. And now look at me. I am amazing and I feel great. I'm in the best shape of my life. Peanut butter Captain Crunch is part of a well-balanced breakfast, and it saved my life. Thank you, Captain Crunch. Look at these pictures of me before Captain Crunch and after Captain Crunch. It's obvious I'm telling the truth. I love peanut butter Captain Crunch. Buy peanut butter Captain Crunch right now if you want to look like me. And you better fucking hope that I don't get used as a before and after model for Coca-Cola, because I'm not the type of guy who's going to sell out. But if Coca-Cola comes a knocking, I just might have a fucking number for them. And you know what the number is? $100 million billion. That's right. If you want to use my likeness and say, I drink Coca-Cola and then I lost 15 pounds in less than 10 days and I feel fucking better than ever. Look at me before Coca-Cola and look at me after Coca-Cola. I fucking love Coca-Cola. You should drink Coca-Cola. We should all drink Coca-Cola. God is Coca-Cola. You could use my likeness and we would all be telling the truth because that is my opinion if you pay me $100 million billion. And if I drink Coca-Cola for 10 days or a year or whatever, I can bulge my stomach out and take a fucking picture. And then I can suck it back in and flex and take a picture. And I can tell everybody Coca-Cola makes me feel fucking great. And guess what? They're all going to believe me. You know why? Because I am the world's greatest fucking before and after model. I shit you not. I could go on Facebook right now. And post a before picture and then post an after picture and then fucking tell everybody, if you want to look like me, if you want to have these results in less than 10 days, send me $20. You can have these results in less than 10 days, in less than a week, less time than it makes to make a fucking cup of coffee. You can have these results. All you have to do is send me $20 and I'm going to show you how to transform your body the same way that I have. And guess what? By the end of the day, people would be loading my bank account with $20. And then I would turn around and send them this video of me bulging my stomach out and taking a picture and then sucking it back in and taking a picture. And then make sure you smile in that fucking after picture. Remember, before you want to frown, after you want to smile. That's the trick to make people know that before you were miserable and then after you're happy. And when you smile, don't just smile like this. You have to smile like you just fucked 37 prom queens in the asshole and came at every single one of them. And you're like, like that way people know you're really happy, okay? So when you're first getting started in the before and after modeling game, you got to start with low-level gigs. Like I remember one time I did a gig for Cunt Face Apple Juice. Have you guys ever heard of Cunt Face Apple Juice? Yeah, you look like you drink Cunt Face Apple Juice. So I used to do some before and after work for Cunt Face Apple Juice, and basically it was like, here's Jake before Cunt Face Apple Juice. And here's Jake after Cunt Face Apple Juice. He's so much better looking now, ladies. Don't you agree? Do. Cunt Face Apple Juice. It can do for you what it did for Jake. Yeah, Cunt Face Apple Juice. Drink some apple juice so you can have what happened to Jake happen to you, you stupid cunt face biatch. I mean, so I started with cunt face apple juice, and then I worked my way up from there. Now I'm my own boss. I don't work for companies anymore. I actually sell my own products. In fact, if you take dipronol, which I invented and I endorse, your dick will get bigger, your ass will get rounder, you'll fuck better than you've ever fucked before, and your farts are gonna fucking smell like unicorn fucking muskrat titties. Which if you haven't smelled those before, let me tell you, you don't know what you're missing. So, if you want some of my dipronol and you want these results, let me show you what can happen to you in less than 10 minutes of taking dipronol. Here's what happened before I ever took dipronol. I looked like this. Yeah. Am I not the ugliest, stupidest looking, fattest, retardedest person ever? Sure, I know. And then along came this pill that I invented somehow with stuff that I found and mixed together and made magic out of, and then stuck in here and then gave to myself. Within 10 minutes, I look like a Greek god. I mean, look at these actor pictures. This can happen to you. No, wait, this will happen to you. In fact, you're probably going to have better results than me. Order Dicra Sicra Fipra Nicra Laka Chicka Maka Flicka Rippa Thickenol right now, and you will have results like me. If you don't order this, you're never going to get laid ever again, and you're probably going to die. So, order Ripper Fricker Dicker Dicker Chicka Nicker Nipronol, and you can have a body transformation just like me. I have no reason to lie, except that I want to sell you as many of this product as I can so that I can be a million billion trillionaire. But other than that, I have no reason to lie. And my results are not typical, and it not only can happen to you, it will happen to you. Order now. Order now.
All right, you made it. That one was long, I know. I drew that bit out way too long. But I haven't watched that one in a long time, so I wanted to go back and rewatch some of my old stuff. And I know a lot of you guys didn't see it. John approves. Christopher says, I bought those and it made my dick way too big. Yeah, well, see, I'm going to have to invent another pill which shrinks it back down. Yeah, those dick shrinking pills for the guys that have that big, extra long, too big of dick. Yeah, you know. I'll make double the amount of money. See? I have one pill that makes your dick too big, and then I sell you another pill back up again. It's this big scam that I created. All right. Oh boy. So there's some of my my own original comedy. You can go back and watch those on my channel. You can just search Jake Gibson comedy special. I did a 5-part series. Andrew Carpenter says our food is poison on purpose. VAXX's cause diseases. Drugs are poison. We are born to serve the 1%. Yeah, I can pretty much agree with you on all that stuff, and it's by design. They don't want people to be, unhealthy and thinking clearly. They don't want you to live a long and healthy life because then they can't profit off of your sickness and disease. So by diagnosing your sickness and disease incorrectly and then giving you pharmaceuticals which mask the illness and give you side effects, like make you high and loopy and whatnot, they can convince people that they're feeling better or doing better receiving their medication when in fact they aren't doing anything to actually heal you from what's going wrong in your body, if there's anything going wrong at all. Shit, you can take a perfectly healthy body to a doctor and they'll find something to prescribe to you. All right. Old man ignorant, Mr. Know It Owl says we have to pay for everything to live in this world, even our deaths. Yeah, man, and death is a very expensive industry as well. They'll be like, okay, here's a casket. They start at 15,000. You're like, what? It's like, yeah, can I just be buried in like a pine box that you just assemble from like planks that you buy at like Home Depot or something. Yeah, the death industry, there's definitely serious money there in performing, funeral services and selling of the caskets and all that stuff. There's tons of money. It's like the wedding industry, same deal. When people get married, they throw a ton of money around as well. So those are two industries that you see a lot of people, just a ton of money. Christopher says we had a funeral that was about 15,000. Yeah, like I said, I've heard this, like just the casket alone. Like if you want like a nicer one, it's like starting price 10 grand. If you want a nicer one, 15 grand. Like if you want the really really nice one, we have this Mercedes Benz model casket so that you can arrive in the afterworld in style. That's $100,000. Will H says, "Yep, everything we work for government all our lives. At the end, they still get 60% of your shit, or in some cases, all your shit." PJ CNET says, "How much did the royal family pay towards the Queen's funeral?" I can guess zero. It's probably a good guess. Steve DeCipio says, "Death industry has a steady supply of customers." Indeed. So they got to keep them stupid for a reason. So they keep lining up, walking to their own death. Here's one that's it's tough, but I got to tell you the truth. Jake, do you think we are all going to die revolution of a revolution because they got this down as far as their security measures? Like I just don't see how any real revolution is going to take place when they got everybody distracted and divided so much. Some of the people who are more conservative and own guns, they're also dumb enough to fall for the Trump shit and the Q shit. So those people aren't the best people to be, siding up with. But if you look at the other side, lefties who are against owning guns, well, you definitely can't join up with. So they kind of got you screwed. You have to like find people who are smart enough that like can see through the left right paradigm and aren't dumb enough to fall for the Trump shit, And so, like I said, the people who still have some family values and some conservative values, a lot of them will fall victim to the right wing, left wing paradigm shit, which is sad. They'll bitch and moan when they vote for their guy and it doesn't go their way. The thing I think you guys have figured out, there's more people football than who care about politics or the government. So more people are interested in whether their football team wins or loses rather than who's running the world. Just look at all the different stadiums around the league just full of people watching rigged and scripted football games. And then look at college. The college games in some cases draw more than the pros games. There's college teams drawing 60, 70,000 people for a Saturday afternoon. So you got some people out there, young men, who could lead a revolution or take place in a revolution, but they're too busy watching rigged and scripted sports and worrying about their fantasy football team to care about the government or fixing it. It's by design, the Roman circus. So that's one of the reasons why I make the NFL rigged content, is to fight back against the Roman circus. because that's what it is. Here's an interesting comment. Steve says, I own a business that does death cleanup. I've seen state agencies show up on jobs and just start taking shit. Interesting. I'll bet that's a very strange industry to work in, but there's not that many people who are going to sign up to clean up dead bodies and whatnot. So I'll bet you the pay is above average. So I'll bet you there's some good money to be made, but it's definitely one of those jobs that, man, you have to be like a robotic person to be able to do. I would have a hard time, even if I was paid well, to day after day clean up dead bodies and stuff. Even if it paid well, it would be a hard one for me. So I would reckon it would have to pay well. Here's a good one, PJ CNET. Yeah, exact same as American football, but soccer instead. He says, here in the UK, you get people protest about soccer outside the ground sometimes. They'll do that instead of standing up to the government. Exactly. So you get soccer riots where one soccer team fans will start beating up the other soccer team fans. See, that's how far they've been distracted and brainwashed and dumbed down. They're not going to fight back against the government, but they're going to go fight against the other rival opponents, fans. Get real, man. So when you ask me about us having a revolution, it's I don't see how that's possible, man. Them people lining up at 90,000 at a time to go watch a game in the stands that's rigged and scripted, and then go back home and watch TV. I just don't see how I can get through and break through to all them people enough to create a big enough legion of people to do anything. There's not many people waking up these brain dead idiots and getting them to become former sports fans. I looked into it. I'm basically the #1 rigged NFL content creator in the world, the most influential with the biggest audience, and I can't seem to wake up, everybody myself. That'd be a tall task. So unless a lot more people start jumping off of pro sports, we're going to have no chance, man. Rose says not having headstones is taking away our ancestry and family name. Interesting. I didn't think about that. Conspiracy Cracker says beats washing dishes. Yeah, cleaning up dead bodies. I'll bet you it beats washing dishes. I've been a dishwasher. I haven't cleaned up dead bodies, so I can't say for sure. But if you could just okay, I didn't kill the person. I have nothing to do with it. I'm just doing a job, just here to clean it up. If I don't do it, someone will. It pays good. If you could just robotically just just do it, it would probably take a few weeks to get used to it, maybe months, who knows. But I bet once you got used to it, robot, because there were nights where I hated my jobs that I had way back when I was a teenager in my early 20s. I had shit jobs, fast food places and crap. And I remember just becoming a robot. Just to pass the time. PJ CNET says we can't give up. I believe one day they'll be fully exposed and defeated, but whether I live to see it, I don't know. Problem is they have all the tech. They have all the weapons and supplies and everything. When you look at the world's richest dudes, they can have things like underground mansion bunkers filled with a never-ending supply of food and whatever, and then they have all the technology before it gets to us, like the phones that we all carry. Like they've got stuff that makes those look silly, right? So whatever we get, they're always 10 years, 20 years ahead of us technology wise. So you got to figure that the technology, I mean, just look at what the NFL is using to manipulate those field goals. The NFL is using some sort of force to manipulate field goals, and I don't even know what the hell it is. We say magnets, but it might not even really be that. So there's technology out there that us common men don't even know about. And so how the hell are we supposed to be victorious? I just don't know, man. The world that we live in, this realm was rigged for the evil ones. Like the evil people run this place. I don't know if it's like a test that we all have to like live in this place, and it's like a test to see if like we become evil or what. I have no idea what this place is or why we're here. Still trying to figure that out. But I don't see the evil people in control here being defeated, if I'm being honest. And I'm not trying to be a naysayer or be a negative Nancy. I'm being real with you. I don't see the people in control having their control taken away. I see a bunch of dumbed down sheeple getting more dumbed down and more unhealthy. I see people falling in line and sticking an internet cord into their brain and plugging into the metaverse before I see them starting a revolutionary army. Kevin Keister says, I love your honesty. Definitely appreciated. Thanks, man. That's what we do around here. I shoot from the hip and tell it like it is, no matter whose feelings it hurts. And that's how I feel. I wear my heart on my sleeve and tell it exactly how I feel and try not to filter it or, make it politically correct for snowflakes or whatever. TM42023 says, if we are not in the same layer of hell, I'd be surprised. Got to make it through hell to. There's times where this world, this realm we live in, there's things I can see that are beautiful and that I really enjoy, and the times where I'm glad to be alive. And then there's other times, where I see something terrible, and I see the way declining, and it makes me wish, I could have been born in a different time when I didn't have to deal with this or think of this. And, so I see it both ways. I can see this place as a living nightmare in hell. And in some cases, it's like, well, yeah, but then there's those days where it's beautiful and I go someplace where it's nice and I have a wonderful day. And so there's times where this world seems magically wonderful, and then there's times where it just seems like an absolute living nightmare in hell. So it's a strange mix, and I'm sure for some of you it can be worse, more one way or the other. But in my life, I've noticed quite a mix of the two. So it isn't all just absolute dark, nasty nightmare and terrible shit. Like I can go nice day, enjoy the ocean and walk around and be glad to be alive. And then the next day I can see, humanity declining in the streets and more people becoming homeless and starving and prices of food going up and the cost of living shooting up. And then I feel like, oh shit, this is going to get worse. It's going to be a living nightmare soon. So strange how it's both at the same time, at least for me. PJC Net says, I agree with the mix. Andy says, life gets harder as you get older. Faith says, I will say this much: if the revolution doesn't happen while us Gen Xers are still here, it will never happen because everybody after us is heavily brainwashed. Yeah, the more technology kids are born into, and the more mainstream media BS they consume, it's bad. And, family values have been eroded to the point where, like, traditional family values, most kids won't grow up knowing about it. They won't know what it looks like to have like a healthy family unit because they'll grow up in dysfunction most likely, and dysfunctional families and stuff that destroys a strong family unit is being promoted and pushed like never before. You got women saying there's no good men left, and then they go on their OnlyFans account and take off their clothes and sell pictures of their body. And then you got men saying, don't date these 304s. These women are for the streets. Stay single. Don't get married. So what you have is a culture of men and women wanting to stay apart, not procreate. Again, all by design. So I would say that the population is declining, but they'll tell you it's rising. So here's what I say is they're actively getting people to stop procreating and destroying the family unit. And people are nowadays more willing to just not procreate because I think it's a bad idea. And you have men and women on both sides saying it's a bad idea to get in a relationship. And so what they've effectively done is started to depopulate society. And they can even tell you that population is going up while it's going down. And how would you know? Are you going to go around and count yourself? So they could be like, population's still on the rise when it could have totally went down like a significant amount. How would you know? How would you know if there's 6 billion or 7 billion? Like, how do you really know how many billion there really are? And if there's less today than there was yesterday, less today than there was last year, how do you know for sure? So I would guess that the population has been dropping, but I don't think they're going to come out and tell you too much about that because they don't really want to alarm you. And if they do tell you about the population steadying out and starting to decline, they'll make it out like it's a good thing. We're saving the world. We've done an excellent job at getting you guys to go to Planned Parenthood and to stop creating families. We've done a really good job, so the population's starting to decline. Old man ignorance is definitely declining to many people I know just within a few months passing. Oh man, you can see. Just go look at some pictures from the 50s and 60s. Look at the way people looked back then. Like, look at a crowd of people in the 50s and 60s, and then look at a crowd of people now. It's like there were no such thing as 300-pound people and 250 like walking around back then. So if you just look at society, it was clear that people were just generally more healthy and happy. All right. I'm going to show an old video and I'm going to take a quick restroom break. But here's an old video I've been meaning to show any of my audience who hasn't watched me or is new to my channel. I want to show you guys how politics and pro wrestling go hand in hand. So here's one called Trump is a Pro Wrestler. This is an important video. If you've never, or definitely pay attention. All right. And I'm going to pull it up right now. Boom. Ended to throw a clothesline. Your very own President Donald Trump got in the professional wrestling industry a long time ago, and nobody seems to realize he's a professional wrestler, even though he went on WWE with this boy Vince McMahon and pretended to throw a clothesline.
This. Hey, look at this! Donald Trump! It's Trump the Thumper.
Even your politics is fake and rigged. It's all professional wrestling. Football, fake and rigged. Professional wrestling is politics. Your boy Trump is best friends with Vince McMahon. They pretended to be enemies. Trump shaved his friends Vince McMahon's head in a WWE ring. Trump threw a clothesline at Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon pretends to be hurt. Nobody remembers. Nobody remembers but me. It's because you guys weren't watching fake wrestling. A lot of people say, Jake, I never watched fake wrestling. Well, it's too bad, because if you would have, you'd realize how easy it is to spot that everything else is fake. But in professional wrestling, it's okay because it's a show. So you know that they're not actually really trying to hurt each other, and they're not in a real fight. So if you go watch professional wrestling, you can watch Stone Cold take on The Rock. When Stone Cold and The Rock go at it, it sells out arenas. Whenever they used to put Stone Cold and The Rock against each other, they would sell out any arena anywhere in the world. And the thing was, we all knew that they weren't actually fighting, but we want to tune in and see the show to see how the show's going to play out. It's the same thing with this election and the last election. It's a show. They're friends. Joe Biden and Donald Trump are professional wrestlers pretending to be in an election. They eat catered meals together. They already know the outcome of the election. There is no real election. It's a professional wrestling match. But everyone seems to think their fucking vote counts. Your vote counts as much as voting for Hulk Hogan to beat Macho Man. And I also have to explain to people that wrestling will sometimes predict the future. In 1989, there was a tag team called the Demolition, and they fought a tag team called the Twin Towers. Yes, a tag team called the Demolition fought a tag team called the Twin Towers in 1989. And people will say, Jake, that's just a coincidence. Sure it is. And they used to run WWE events in Trump's arena. Did you guys know Trump, back when he used to have a casino and stuff, he used to have this arena, and they used to have WWE events in Trump's arena? Trump and Vince McMahon go way, way back. There's pictures of Vince and Trump from fucking decades ago, hanging out, being buddies. In fact, check out this old picture from the late 80s where Hulk Hogan and Donald Trump are holding hands like some sort of gay lovers. Look at these two. Look at the way they're holding hands. Doesn't that look just a little bit strange? Anywho. But everyone acts like Trump is some sort of awesome businessman and he's their buddy, he's your pal, and somehow he just climbed his way up the ranks of politics just being such an awesome businessman. He's a fucking professional wrestler. And you idiots who think politics is real, you just never watched enough professional wrestling to understand it's a fucking show. Because if you would have been watching wrestling, you would be able to see the show. In fact, Trump is part of the show. If you didn't go back and watch Donald Trump while he was wrestling, then that means you missed it. I watched Donald Trump when he was doing the professional wrestling, so I know what it looks like to see a man pretend to be in a feud with his best friend. So when I say Donald Trump and Hillary are friends, people go, no, he's not. He hates her. He's going to put that woman in jail. Are you fucking idiots? It's an act. It's professional wrestling. Donald Trump is not going to put Hillary in jail. Is she in jail? No. He said he was going to put that woman in jail. And you know what else? Like Hulk Hogan always said he was gonna do the right thing for his little Hulkamaniacs, and then he became the leader of the NWO. Hulk Hogan was the greatest good guy there ever was, and then he became the leader of the New World Order in wrestling. And guess what? Donald Trump was a Democrat and used to love Hillary and Bill, but then he became a good guy, a Republican, and now he's the president while the NWO is taking over. The NWO is literally taking over right now in real life. Trump is sitting there as your acting president, talking out of both sides of his ass, saying that your vaccine's coming. He's got your vaccine ready and it's safe. Meanwhile, all the Trump supporters are like, he's a good guy. He's on our side. He's a good guy who rose up the ranks and he's going to save us. And of course, anytime I talk bad about Trumpy, people assume I must be voting for Biden. No, all the politicians are professional wrestlers and your vote doesn't count. The whole thing is fucking rigged. Duh, you fucking idiots. But people with their Trump flags, Trump 2020, Trump 2020, Trump 2020, you're rooting for a professional wrestler. You're rooting for Hulk Hogan. You're rooting for Macho Man. You're rooting for fucking professional wrestling, you fucking idiots. The same as your stupid football team. Your football team and your fucking wrestling and your fucking politics are all rigged and they're all bullshit. You better hit the thumbs up, brother. If you don't hit the thumbs up, brother, then I'm gonna come over there and I'm gonna shove this bowl right up your sister's twat. And if you don't got a sister, brother, then I'm gonna shove it up your brother's twat, sister. Ooh, yeah, brother. Let me tell you, brother, what's gonna happen, brother. I'm gonna be your brother and I'm gonna find your sister and I'm shoving this up her twat. Ooh, yeah. Hulk Hogan is the greatest promo man of all time. Nobody can do a promo like Hulk Hogan. There was a time where he was on steroids and he used to do rails of cocaine and he would be like, oh yeah, let me tell you something, Mean Gene. Let me tell you, brother, you need to eat your vitamins. You better eat your brother vitamins, brother. And if you don't brother your vitamins, oh, listen to your mother, brother. I'm going to find you little Hulkamaniacs, and I'm going to force my vitamins down your brother's throat. So you better say your prayers, and you better listen to your mother. Ooh, yeah, that's right. You better fear God, brother, and you better do what's right, and you better watch the Hulkster tonight, and you better buy my lunch pail, and you better buy my shirt, brother. Ooh, tell your mother to be your brother, and to buy my merchandise. Ooh. And it was like he sold out arenas around the fucking world and he was bigger than the business that employed him. He was literally bigger than the professional wrestling industry to where he was the only guy people wanted to see and they were forking over their money to see Hulk Hogan. And then he turned into the leader of the New World Order. He did. He went from being the greatest good guy to the greatest bad guy. And if you go watch Hulk Hogan NWO heel turn, Hulk Hogan NWO heel turn, and it's right here on YouTube, you can see the day when he turned from good guy Hulk Hogan to bad guy Hulk Hogan. People lost their mind and threw shit in the ring and filled the ring up with trash. They threw beers all over him while he was in the ring, and he gives the greatest promo of all time about how he doesn't give a fuck about the fans anymore. It's a promo that nobody could ever give, and it cements him as being the greatest promo man of all time. And you guys might think like, Jake, I don't care about pro wrestling. It's fake. Fucking watch what I just posted there. It's the good guy, the greatest good guy there ever was, who turns into the greatest bad guy there ever was, and watch the way the fans react. The New World Order came out in wrestling before it came out here in real life so openly. Right now, the Boogeyman disease, the mask wearing, everybody bending over, the business is all collapsing. That's the New World Order taking over here now. But before all this, in wrestling, there was a New World Order, and it was Hulk Hogan, and it was Kevin Nash, also known as Diesel, and Razor Ramon, also known as Scott Hall. So Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash started this rebel group called the New World Order. And basically, it was like the New World Order was going to take over professional wrestling. And it was a a storyline, and it's conditioning for what was to come in the future. Just like in 1989, there was a tag team match between the Demolition and the Twin Towers. It's conditioning for what's to come. Just like Vince McMahon and Trump are best buds, but they pretended to be enemies. They pretended to fight. So when I tell people Donald Trump is a professional wrestler, he's got in the ring and thrown a clothesline and pretended to fight, they go, nuh-uh, you're stupid. You're just a conspiracy theorist. Meanwhile, you can literally go watch Trump in the ring throwing a clothesline at Vince McMahon. If you get in the ring with Vince McMahon and he lets you throw a clothesline and then he falls and pretends to be hurt, you are now a professional wrestler. It doesn't. And we're back. Thought I'd go ahead and dust that one off because it's a few years old, but it has some relevance still. You can see that it's still that's not one of those ones that becomes irrelevant as time passes. So like that was back when Trump was still president, and now it's like it's still like the same matchup, Trump versus Biden again. So basically, the video has stood the test of time quite well. G Hart says, "Hey, it's Jake. Yeah, I was showing a video clip there." Jane's favorite video says they condition us from every direction. Indeed. Like, for instance, they condition people with Kanye or Ye, right? So when he makes anti-Semitic comments and then they have all the celebrities demonize him and call him out for it, they're training the public to, never say anything like that. And if you do hear someone talking like that, then you should call that person out, ridicule that person, because they're evil, right? So they condition the public in many different. And like I said, one of the most recent examples I could think of was this Kanye shit. Oh yeah, brother. Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. If all my little Hulkamaniacs out there don't eat their vitamins, well, then I'm going to have to tell your mother. I'm going to tell your mother, brother, that your sister and your brother need to eat my vitamins. All you little Hulkamaniacs need to ask your mother permission to buy the next pay-per-view SummerSlam. Oh, you like that? Felipe Fortes says Super Nintendo wrestling games back in the 90s was the best. I have to disagree. I am partial to Nintendo 64. There was a franchise, THQ, and they did WrestleMania 2000, and then they did one that was extra awesome called No Mercy. WWF No Mercy on Super Nintendo is the best wrestling game ever made. And I'll argue with anybody to the death over that. Chris Lee Aries says, I always been anti-Semitic and I'll never change that. Oh, you mean they haven't influenced you with Kanye? They haven't scared you away? You better be careful. He owes like $1 million, billion, quadrillion dollars. He lost all his money. So you better be careful. Same could happen to you. Highway Ranger says try Macho Man. I actually do a better Macho Man than I do a Hulk Hogan. My Hulk Hogan is pretty average. My Macho Man is like one of my better impressions that I do. Let me tell you something. If you want to mess with the Macho Man, well, then you better be ready and prepared to go the distance in the squared circle. Because there's not another man in the WWF, brother, who can step into a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah. Quite like the Macho Man. Oh, yeah. There you go. Chris Lee Aries says your macho is spot on. I know. I'm sad that he's not still alive. He was a cool character. He used to wear like cool hats like me, and he used to dress super, super fancy and fly. Like nobody had the same iconic style as Randy Savage. He could wear like the flashiest, gayest thing and somehow pull it off. Legend has it that he banged the boss's daughter and the boss had him whacked. But that might be a rumor. That's what legend says, is that Randy Savage banged Vince's daughter when she was a teenager, and that Vince was very unhappy and had him taken out. But who knows? It could just be a rumor. Citizen G-Man says, that hurts my throat just listening. Yeah, I can only do that for about 20 to 30 seconds, and then I have to stop. I definitely feel it. Andy says, what does Elmo think about it?
Elmo wants to know how did it's a mystery. Elmo doesn't watch Jake the Asshole because Elmo's mom said Elmo's not allowed to watch Jake the Asshole more.
Greg T said, where did Spherage or Spedia, the vegan toxic diet guy, go? His main channel got whacked by YouTube, so now he's on his backup channel called Gotis, and he's still out there, but he's like he's getting increasingly more desperate, and he's e-begging like pretty hard now. And so basically now, like, he got kicked off Patreon and YouTube, and now he's like trying to go to this new site. And so he's trying to get a bunch of people to like sign up and donate money to him like every single month. And yeah, it's pretty funny. He's getting what he deserves. Margaret Walter said, sounded more like Mr. Hanky.
Howdy ho! Hey, Kyle. I'm a Christmas Pooh. You want to hang out with me?
G Hearts is nothing better than smoking a bowl and watching Jake. I agree. Andy says, I love you, Jake. Oh, thanks. You know what? I love all you guys. Except for that guy. No, I'm just kidding. He's cool too. Here's a funny comment. Oh. There it is. It says, Felipe Fortes says, I saw a ginger girl back in the 90s high school wear a sweater with an arrow pointed down with text saying, tickle this Elmo. Wow. Like she actually wanted the puppet to tickle her down there? Or her no-no zone is named Elmo. Like her box is named Elmo, or she wants Elmo to go down on her. Oh. She wants Elmo to tickle her? I don't understand. Grotto Dwell says, have you ever covered anything on people with crystallized DNA? I have not. I really don't know shit about that, to be honest. See, I don't try and make it out like I know about all these different subjects. If I don't know about something, I'll just tell you. I don't know. Jake says, have you ever killed anyone? No, I haven't. But it's on my bucket list. Just kidding. Or am I? Andy says, you made me laugh so good. Thank you so much, Jake. Oh, well, you're welcome. That's what I'm here for. PJ Cements has heard they're doing clinical trials on lab-grown blood, more unnatural crap. Yeah, they are going to do a whole lot of unnatural Frankenstein-type shit in the next bunch of years. You're going to see it more and more, like lab-grown meat. Like, don't buy meat from cows. Instead, we're going to take DNA from cows and we're going to grow cells in a lab. And so then we're just going to have this like lab-made meat that we grow. And it's basically the same as, you know, fresh meat, basically. Try it. Yeah, no thank you. Don't want any of the lab-made meat and then lab-grown blood or anything like that. Sounds all bad and evil. Dwayne Neal says, I think Andy wants you. Well, that's cool. See, that's the thing is I have lots of women in my chat, and they're all free to like me and have a crush on me and want me as much as they want. You hear that, ladies? You're free to have a crush on me. No judgments here. In fact, I expect you to. Just kidding. Or am I? Oh, shit. You embarrassed her. Now she says she has to go. All right, bye, Andy. Have a good night. XYZ says, hi from Australia. Australia! Well, good day, mate. Let's put another shrimp on the barbie. That's not a knife. That's a knife. That's not a knife. That's a knife. Where's my knife? That's not a knife. That's a knife. See this knife? I've got a knife. You may have seen a knife that wasn't a knife, but this is a knife. That's not a knife, that's a knife. All right. Those are all the Crocodile Dundee jokes I know. Whenever someone tells me they're from Australia, I assume Crocodile Dundee is their favorite movie. I automatically say shrimp on the Barbie and good day, mate. And they usually are very happy that I know the native language and all the terms. So they're usually excited that somebody like me is so knowledgeable about their homeland, which is why I do it. XYZ says, you sound like my neighbor. Well, I have never been to Australia, so, you know, I can see why. Silent Walk says Australia is getting bamboozled for the New World Order. Unbelievable what they are doing. Yeah, there's not a big population, and the populations are spread out, so they're easier to control. In English-speaking countries where they don't have access to firearms are the ones that are going to definitely take over fastest and easiest. So when you look at like the UK or Australia, they can easily take over those places quicker and more efficiently than the United States, where people still got their guns. Dwayne Neal says, have you ever rode a roo, mate? I rode a roo back in '89, mate. I rode him around. He was hopping around on the ground, mate. We went for a walkabout. Okay, guys. It's getting to be late for a lot of you, I guess. So I'll probably just jump off here. Thought I'd just go live tonight and shoot the shit, put some haters in their place, and we did that. So I'll go ahead and let you guys get back to your Thursday night, and I'll catch you guys maybe this weekend. I'll do another live stream. So I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. Everybody who commented, thank you. Everyone who donated, extra thank you. And if I missed your comment, I didn't read it out loud, I go back and watch the stream and I see every comment. So I will see your comment, even if I didn't read it out loud during the stream. So don't you fear and don't you fret and don't you frown. All right. So smash that thumbs up on the way out before you go. Before we shut her down, everybody do me a favor. If you had a fun night tonight, if you enjoyed yourself, smash those thumbs up. Grotto Dwell says, please stay strong, Jake. We need you alive. Hey, you know, they haven't taken me out yet, so I figure I will keep keeping on until they do. All right, y'all. Everybody have a good night. I will catch you next time. And until then, take her sleazy in the breezy for sheezy.